Hey everyone, Coach Patrick here from Endurance Nation, back with another weekly broadcast. This week, our topic continues forward on the concept of optimization. For those of you who may recall, frequent listeners of this show, I know that about a couple weeks ago, maybe like 6-8 weeks ago, I introduced the concept of key daily questions. The idea being that, can we create a personal scorecard, simple, easy to use, with a reminder system, do it every night, 8 o'clock, whatever it is, and give yourself a score, ones and zeros, as a tool basically to reinforce behavior. The goal here being that as we move forward across a year, there are certain activities or inputs that we can optimize to include that yield better outcomes, right? So I know if I, like for example, let's just say if I have too many beers, then my next day's workout is ruined, right? That happens enough where I'm like, if tomorrow's workout is good, I really shouldn't be drinking tonight. And then also inversely, now that I'm tracking my sleep, I know that, hey, just in general, when I drink, my sleep is bad. So I'm trying to optimize my sleep, then drinking frequently is bad. Not that I don't want to drink, but I want to make sure that I'm not overdoing the drinking from a frequency standpoint, not so much the depth side. So how do I do that? Aside from just when I'm encountered with a social situation, to like use my willpower, which is like a 50-50 battle because I'm a pretty social person. Then why don't I create conditions where I just sort of measure the fact that I'm not drinking, right? If I can track, if not drinking is a positive score for me and drinking is a negative score for me, eventually over time, I'll be able to see not only when I am drinking, like track that, because I don't track that on my workouts anywhere else, but I can also see how that correlates to my training sessions. I could be like, hey, I drank on, February 7th. How was my February 8th workout? I'll be able to go back and take a look and correlate it, perhaps validate my hypothesis that the drinking is in fact negatively impacting my performance overall, not just my sleep and other mechanisms. And the idea being that essentially what we want to do is create a bias internally such that we're always opting for things that we're adding or removing from our day that give us better outcomes, right? So if for me, another great one is taking a nap, right? So taking a 15-minute nap per day allows me to reboost, recharge, cut back on my caffeine, and I'm much more productive and a happier person in the afternoon and the evenings. And so I want to create conditions where I'm going to take that nap every day. So I have to schedule it into my day every day, and I have to make sure that I'm also executing on that nap every day. So again, it goes into the scorecard. And then basically by including more of the positive and removing some of the negative, effectively optimizing my daily schedule again and again and again to just create better outcomes, better mood, better focus, just better outputs, better me, like essentially at the end of the day, rather than every time I'm faced with a decision, I have to decide, well, do I want to do this or do I not want to do this, right? Like someone will say, hey, I can go skiing this weekend. Do you want to come? I have an opportunity to, I've got a house. I'm going to go skiing. Do I want to ski? Well, of course, internally, I want to go skiing. Like, let's go. Let's hit the slopes. I'd love to do it. I love the winter. But what are the rules that I have in my operating system? Not just to make a decision based on that opportunity or that impulse, but make a decision based off of this foundational set of rules that I have in terms of what I'm doing. That may be a great opportunity. I may want to seize it, right? But let me make that decision from a place of internal strength, not just do I or do I not want to go? Is this or is this not a convenient weekend for the family or whatever it is? But rather, what are the things that I'm working to achieve, and how does this fit into that? Again, not to say that we wouldn't take an outstanding opportunity or unique opportunity, but let's make that decision from a place that's consistent with the daily values that you're building into your time, right? So in that case, maybe going skiing with the guys means drinking a lot of beer, right? So in that case, I know that I really don't want to drink, so I could make a deal with myself to say, hey, I'll go, but I'm really going to keep it to just drinking, at the bar, at the mountain, not going home and then drinking again, for example, right? They know nothing like a $8 or $10 beer to make you not want to drink too much, right? Some mechanism such like that along those lines. But more importantly, I think going forward, saying what was a good day, what was a bad day. Well, intermittently, we'll sort of say, man, today was awesome, right? Like when your significant other or a family or a friend, whatever, you check in sort of end of the day, and people be like, hey, how was your day? Like, it was awesome. Well, what made that an awesome day for you versus a not awesome day? You can actually drill down on that and find things that made it more awesome or less awesome. Some of those items out of your control, right? Not inside your box. I can't control what happens news wise, what's happening out there. Right? I can't control what's happening with my kids' days and what's happening with their grades and their teachers. I can't control, what's happening with my significant other's schedule and everything else that's happening in that space. But I can control my inputs, right? So I've realized that a good day for me means that I've controlled my inputs, controlled as much as I can on my side to make myself super strong, efficient, happy, aligned with what my goals are, etc. And that positions me to be good in the areas where I'm outside of my box, right? So I get strong internally, and then externally, it also makes me better. And I've realized that I need more of the better side of this, and it starts here. It starts at home, essentially. It starts with the work that I'm doing. So that said, let's dive into the project because I have made some edits since the last time that I shared this information with you. So I just want to be mindful of that. Okay, so here's the sheet. Super simple key daily questions. And essentially 1 is a yes, 0 is a no. We can see here, let me go to the window myself so I have it. You can see here that I started on December 7th, and I'm coming all the way through to today. So almost 2 months time now, almost 8 weeks, etc. So 1's there, 0's no, you can see that. So you can start to sense a trend. I could probably come up with some better color organization here so I could see how things are working. And then these are some newer ones, like no values here means like a new one. I wonder if I can put like a little dash in there. I probably could do that. So I know that like, hey, this is, I wasn't tracking this at that time. Similar with this one, which I literally just put in today, and more on that in a second. So the idea being that, hey, how am I reinforcing this behavior? Where do things look? So my key elements here that I've been tracking this whole time: did I nap today? Because I know that a 15-minute nap makes a big difference. Did I weigh in today? I want to be accountable to myself in terms of what I'm doing. More on that later. Did I HRV today? Been doing HRV now for 2 months. Super informative and instructive. Did I sleep 7 hours? Still struggling with that one. Did I fiber today? Keep me healthy. Did I not drink alcohol? We talked about that. No travel or commuting. I do have to travel and commute for work and often on the weekends for kids' sports. And that's pretty disruptive to my rest, etc. You can see that like I had bad sleep and I did have to travel, bad sleep. I had to travel. It's a pretty consistent pattern there. Did I connect with someone from the family today? Like, how's that working, right? And what days of the week? I could probably optimize for like Saturdays and Sundays in here. Let me make a note on that. That'd be kind of neat to see what that looks like in terms of like, hey, am I doing a good job connecting on the weekends or the weekdays? Where is that? And can I improve upon that? All right. Did I build positive relationships today outside of home? Am I doing something positive? Interacting with other people, being a good human being out there. Did I set clear goals? This is a good one for me. And it kind of gets back to me to this planning clear agenda. So these may sort of overlap a little bit for me, which is new, but like getting in the morning and saying, hey, what's my goals for today? What's my agenda? That's super helpful. So I may connect those. Let me see this. I may merge those together for me because they're kind of similar. Did I make progress towards my goals? So did I actually execute on it? I'll show you that in a second. Did I read for at least 15 minutes? Part of my wind down routine, and just, again, gets me away from the screen. Did I not eat after 8 p.m.? Okay, so what are all the different pieces here? So the things that I've added since the last time we saw, I added the reading because this reading piece here is part of my winding down piece. And not that I'm trying to justify being online more often, but I am trying to get into a place where I am consuming relevant content that's not newsworthy, right? So an actual book, like picking up a book and reading it, super helpful. It's just a different way of processing, and it sticks so much more for me than just scrolling on a screen. Totally recommend that one for sure if that's something you can get into. I added the travel and commuting since the last time we checked in because, again, like I said, that really impacts my day. This past weekend, had to travel to a one-day volleyball tournament with my daughter, and that was just the timing of it meant that it messed up my sleep. It also interfered with a rest day, so I kind of lost a rest day, and I'm feeling that this week as well. And so it just kind of is a good indicator of the additional stress. So if you're someone who does travel a lot, or has to deal with that, it's just a good thing to track to see how's that impacting you downstream, etc. I have a little more control of my schedule. I work from home, but at the same time, it is unavoidable in certain circumstances. So it's important to kind of have that built in, see there. Now, things that I do want to change here so we can be totally clear with what's going on. I'll make this a little bit bigger here. One thing I definitely want to change is that is the weigh-in piece. I put this, did I weigh in today? So I am doing a good job. Essentially, I've got my scale, which tracks everything and loads it up, and also is connected to Zwift. So there's total fidelity there. I've got that scale right next to my bike. So essentially when I go to get on the bike, I get on the scale first in just my bib shorts, get a solid weigh in, and then do my training session consistently, same time of the day. I get good numbers there and move forward. However, it's not really changing anything. Like I'm seeing the number and I'm like, ooh, that's high. Ooh, that's low. But I'm in a certain bandwidth and it's not changing the numbers downwards. And I do have a goal of getting that weight down this season. And so I think I need to change that from like, did I or did I not weigh in today? I think I need to change that to not eating after 8 p.m. So my biggest weakness nutritionally is late night eating, from stress, also from fatigue. It may just make worse calorie decisions the more fatigued we are. And so I'm going to change that up a little bit and see if I can get to this not eating after 8 p.m. because all those calories after 8 p.m., I don't really need them. I've had dinner. I've had a day. Those calories are just keep me going or whatever it is. And I think I need to honor where my body's at and be better about that. So that's something that I definitely want to work on. A key reflection I wanted to make here on this piece as well is that it does, again, like I mentioned earlier, set me up to make better decisions based off of the conditions where I'm at. And it shows me things that I'm working on and what's working well and what's not working well. And so that it kind of leads me to the next point, which is questions, which is like, what are things that I do want to optimize for, right? Do I want to have a score? Do I want to say from HRV, I'm at like 90% compliance? Do I want to sort of add up all the possible numbers and then, the score and then just going to basically see like how many yeses versus nos that I had, or yeses versus nos and blanks. So I kind of get a score for my compliance in there. I don't know if that's a helpful tool or not. I think for me, I'd vastly prefer being able to, just kind of look at the numbers now. Like for me, I talk a lot about sort of day zero internally with my athletes, which is like, today's a new day. Today's the day we're going to go forward and do something awesome. Don't get too carried away with, what's my score? What's my trend? I can't break the streak, etc. That's fine. And some people really respond to that. For me, it's much more about, hey, what can I do today, right now, to be better from here forward, right? I can, lament the past and be like, I should have done this or done that. But really, I have to learn from that and just incorporate it and say, I want to move forward. So I think maybe that score piece may not be as effective for me going forward. But yeah, I wanted to give you an update on that. I'm going to keep going. Like I said, I'm going to add SAPM. I'll check back in probably like another 8 weeks or so to kind of give you a sense of how things are rolling out. Again, the idea here is to say, how do we, now knowing what makes a better version of your day, how do we make sure that more of the elements that create a better version are in there? Think about your day as something you buy from the supermarket, where it has the ingredients on the back. What are all the things that you're going to make sure are inside your day that will then create better conditions for your day, better outputs at work, at home, and just overall for yourself? How do we start turning the process of going through a day and debriefing it into a way to iterate better and to make sure that you just have more better days? Instead of good days just happening, how about we turn these elements into good days that we can actually manufacture better quality days? It may not turn out to be a great day, but we've done all the things that go into making a good day. We turn the making of a good day into a habit, and then we can basically parse that into a place where we can say, I can make better days happen by taking these actions, or these 3 actions are my top 3 actions that lead to a better day. These next 3 actions or 5 actions may be a little bit less relevant, but they're the corresponding elements of a good day. So when I get to choose, like, hey, do I want to be on my phone or do I want to read for 15 minutes? I know I'm going to read because reading first, I'll check that box first. If I read and I've got 15 more minutes, maybe I'll go on my phone, but I'm filling my day with the things that make things better, and then I go from there. All right. Hopefully this has inspired you to think a little bit about optimizations. If you want to know more about the Key Daily Questions project, or if you want an access or a link to the template, shoot me a DM or reply in the comments on the socials, wherever you may find us on Facebook and YouTube. We'll get it out there and we'll work on it. All right. Thanks, folks. Take care. Have a great week. See ya.